So before we go into the main event, my cat decided to come and get food, and I know that she's going to go hiding soon, and I know how important this is to all of you. So we're going to get this out of the way while I still got her, you know. But she says hi. Say hi. She's doing good. Thank you guys. And now on with the show.
Bring on the wrecking machine. For every city you burn, I'm gonna build one high.
Greetings, fellow Empyreans. I am Ashtarothi, the voice of New Eden, and it is August 20th, YC126, and this is the Eve Universe Show! Haha! Welcome back! It's good to be back. I know, it's summer is winding on. It's been a quiet time for Eve. It's been a quiet time for my stream. I know my son is actually at his new school's orientation today, which is why we get to sit down today, which is great. Nice Container Records. Hey, but there was a couple of things. A couple days ago, I put out a video, which was my unboxing of the collector's edition, which has this amazing plushie, whose only regret is the fact that you guys can't get it too. It's honestly a travesty. By the way, one of the nicest things about this thing is that all of the sand is like at the very bottom, like in this last little inch. So you can like balance it really, really easily, and it stands up on its own. It's pretty cool. But at any rate, I put out this video, and why that camera was so dark and this one isn't, I don't know either. I'm sorry. I checked all kinds of different things. And then when I finished recording it and went to go edit it, I was like, this is so dark. Should I like re-record it and just pretend like I'm doing it for the first time again? I was like, I don't know about all that. So yeah, I apologize for that. But I did get it out. And a lot of people seem to like it. So that's good. But there was some other bigger things that have been going on recently that I've been wanting to talk to you guys about. And I decided to wait till I could do a live show to talk about it. And that basically, there's two things. One, they have updated SKINR to fix my #1 problem with it. So I want to actually like go over SKINR with you guys now that I feel like it is, while maybe not feature complete, it's at least not a scam as much as like it's not incomplete in the same way. It's minimum viable product now. I'll say that. And then also they've been dropping a lot of Vanguard lore in the last couple of weeks. In fact, there was a new video that came out from CCP talking with CCP Demiurge and a few of the others about Vanguard, its future, and its lore. And we got confirmed, actually, that CCP Demiurge is working on Vanguard, which is really important for those of you who are wondering whether or not, like, CCP is going to worry about the Drifters or the Triglavians. CCP Demiurge, formerly known as Uriel, like, that's his bread and butter. He cut his teeth. He got well known by researching and writing up stuff about specifically the the Jove, the Triglavians, the Hedewani, all of those kind of mysteries. That's always been his thing. So the fact that he is the lead narrative designer for Vanguard, I think, bodes well for the future. But either way, we do want to. What should we do first? Let's go ahead and jump into the Vanguard stuff first, actually, because we'll look at this. Maybe the SKINR stuff will take more time, I imagine, because we'll just play around in SKINR for the rest of the time. So we've got the Vanguard Discord, which I recommend people join, because if you wanted to get involved with Vanguard, I believe the next few things are only going to be through the Discord or like picking out people for it. So if you want to be involved in Vanguard right now, that's the way to do it. But they have this announcement channel where they post a bunch of new stuff all the time. So they posted some nice visuals about the Solstice planet and its look. But then after the art theme, they came into this one, theme 2. Who are the Vanguard? And this is where we come in. Before you were Vanguard, you were a war clone of a prior generation. Before you were a war clone, you were born a human being like any other. Today, you are among many who have rebuilt themselves to join the eponymous next step in the evolution of the war clone, one of several modes of technological immortality that has been devised by the various peoples of New Eden. While EVE Online's Capsuleers roam the heaven in vast ships controlled through an insulated interface, war clones walk fearlessly on the ground below, carving their ambitions into the world with their own hands. Your relationship with the Deathless Circle is that of a freelancer. In exchange for assisting in the development of Vanguard war clones, you have been granted sanctuary, work opportunities, and existential continuity unthreatened by the economic pressures and persecution that saw independent war clone organizations fade into irrelevance in the past. Your side of this agreement is fulfilled simply by participating in Vanguard deployment operations in any capacity. The diagnostic data you provide while inhabiting Vanguard blanks is invaluable to the Circle's ongoing research into Jovian biology and technology. Like all war clones, you exist primarily as an infomorph, a digital analog to the signals and processes of biological consciousness. War clones are incarnated by writing these infomorphs onto specialized implants in the brains of compatible war clone blanks. Empty vessels awaiting the arrival of a mind, and can return to life after death indefinitely as long as the additional blanks are available. Vanguard blanks, extensively modified Jovian clone bodies, represent a shift in developmental philosophy away from the costly Empire super soldier designs in favor of producing an adaptive, economical, and pragmatic combat platform for a growing population of mercenaries driven home by the Deathless. The location of your home is the Fulcrum, an abandoned Jovian outpost now occupied by the Deathless Circle. More precisely, integrated into the ancient systems of this vast megastructure, there lies an onboard virtuality capable of hosting live war-clone infomorphs in a constructed environment. There is currently little to be found in this derelict inner world, but of vast yet tranquil darkness. Nevertheless, in the hands of the Deathless and his associates, it has become a haven for countless war clones who have made their way to the Fulcrum, yourself among them. Okay, so what can we learn from here? So cloning technology has been ongoing for quite some time, right? You know, the Capsuleers are still the most advanced clones that we have in New Eden. And they get by because of what's known as the TEBS interface, right? Where effectively they develop the ability to scan your brain to get the exact state of your brain at that time. The problem with this is that it leaves the person in a vegetated state. It like cooks the brain in the process of reading it, right? So the problem with cloning is that you basically always kill off the original body in the process of doing so, or at least that's that most of the time. And so in order to not lose data, like if I clone and then 2 days later I get assassinated, those 2 days since I was cloned are gone, right? Because I didn't back them up. I didn't resync them. The clone only knows it is a snapshot of me 2 days ago. And this has come up in the stories more than a few times. So the difference here is that they needed to So the way the capsule works is that the capsule provides not only a protection from space, but gives a trigger so that way they know when to fire the TEBS, the cloning system. So as soon as the pod gets breached, then it does a snapshot of your brain at that exact moment. See, the pod provides an opportunity that the normal world doesn't, which is that they know the exact moment before you die, because the last thing that happens before you die is your pod gets breached. So as soon as the pod gets breached, it injects you with a lethal dose and then scans your brain and uploads it to the fluid router to be recloned. Okay, so that is like that system, and obviously the problem is that requires a giant it requires the capsule to function, like this shield around you. So if I'm going to be a Vanguard soldier, if I'm going to be a foot soldier, if I'm going to be on the ground outside of my pod, how do we keep them immortal? And actually, hold on. I always think about what videos I want to play after the fact, unfortunately. EVE Online, Dust, trailer. Shh. What? Dang it, ads. Let me... So what they're doing here is once the Apocrypha event happened and the wormholes opened, they discovered ancient enclaves of the Sleeper civilization. Now, they didn't know it at the time, but we know now that the Sleeper civilization was an advanced version of the Jovian race, one that was particularly fond of using an advanced suspended animation and virtual reality construct to perpetuate themselves indefinitely. So at some point, especially probably during the end of the Second Jovian Empire, the Sleepers left the rest of the Jovians and traveled to Enoikis and built their enclaves amongst the ruins of the Talakan Empire, only to be discovered by Jamil Sorum and her scientists years later at the behest of the Other. So this is them in wormhole space hunting through the enclaves.
Look at this place. Over here. This one seems to be intact. Okay, let's bring it in for analysis.
The implant recovered by the extraction team has fascinating properties. An instant transfer of consciousness, even at the moment of death.
So much blood has been spilled in the name of our faith. Too many have died at the hands of Imperians.
Imagine the military application.
But we have been blessed. I will unleash this new power and end the war.
We cannot allow one nation to control it.
They have done enough to leave their mark in history. Their soldiers would be dangerous beyond measure.
The power they would have, they would be
Immortal.
So, basically, this is the beginning of what we know of as war clones, which are mercenaries. Basically, what they discovered was the Jovians, or rather the sleepers that were Jovians, had their biology modified. They actually they grew an extra lobe of their brain, and then they shut off the growing of that lobe of the brain, so that way it could be replaced by a implant. So literally, instead of an implant that like attaches to the brain, they actually have an implant that's like fully integrated into their brain, and it allows them to be connected into their virtual reality construct. It deals with all of the information, and eventually they moved the construct from running on independent servers to actually running on the brains of these sleepers, right? So Jamil and their people found these guys and started pulling them out and ripping out the implants, and realizing that these implants could be used to make a new generation of soldier that basically allowed you to get the state of the brain at the moment of death, regardless, and without the need of a TEBS or anything like that. They would just need to breed this new group of soldiers that used these implants, right? Now, it turns out that the sleeper civilization has actually, inside of the construct itself, the sleeper civilization has fallen. That an artificial intelligence known as the Other has risen within the construct and has basically taken over and subjugated the the sleepers. Now, the sleepers that rebelled against him, one of the ways that they dealt with it was by, like, when they tore out the implants, he would just lock them away inside of that implant, and then they got sucked out. They were pulled out of the construct, and they also sent out copies of the Other through the implants too, right? And so these original soldiers that were created by the Amar, which were known as the Templars, that was Generation 1, and they were infected by sleeper space, either by copies of the Other or by wounded, hurt, scared sleepers that would torment these original Templars. This is the story of Templar 1, which eventually culminates in the Battle for Pike's Landing, I think is what is the place, where Jamil, the person who has been being manipulated by the Other all this time, kind of realizes what she is unleashing into the world, and so starts taking measures to undo the damage. The practical effect of this is that the first generation of war clones were hunted down and destroyed. However, it is believed that not all of them were destroyed. Now, from that, all 4 of the other empires began developing their own technology, and a lot of them built it off of the original sleeper ideal, but it's basically, rather than literally ripping out implants from a enclave and then sticking it in somebody's brain, they instead made their own versions of the implants, their own like iteration of it that didn't have sleeper ghosts trapped in them. And so these were the Dust 514 clone soldiers. Okay. And there's all these different organizations. There's lots of different clone groups running around, mostly mercenary clone groups for all the different empires and independents. And of course, during Dust 514, they ran around and caused a muck in faction warfare and also within Molten Heath for territorial control. However, at a certain point, that was disrupted. Now, with the end of Dust 514, that wasn't the end of all war clones, but it was the end of large legal and broad use of war clones. Now, we've seen the war clones operate and the war clone groups operate in the lore basically nonstop, especially recently. There'll be lots of mentionings of different war clone groups and what they're doing and all that stuff. And the most famous of the war clone groups that have kind of continued on is a group called Arkhambine. Now, Arkhambine wasn't created because of, like, it wasn't created by one of the governments, like the Crux Special Task Force or any of those type things. Rather, it was effectively as the mercenary organizations and operations were being largely shut down, the Arkhambine became a place for disillusioned war clones to go and rally behind in a relatively safe environment. And pretty quickly, the Arkhambine fell in line with Mortis Legion, who is the other major mercenary group in New Eden. And for quite some time, that's kind of been the state of things, that there are war clones, but they are, we don't know a whole bunch about how their technologies are developing. I know that the Invasions saw a whole lot of development of interest in war clones, and actually Edencom itself and the core of Edencom, Aegis, was originally designed to combat the war clone threat, right? Originally, we had people, they were raiding shipping lanes around Molten Heath, and the idea was that Sancho was raiding these places, and they needed new soldiers to be able to do boarding parties and stuff, and so they reawakened the cloning project, and that was what was supposed to be Project Nova. That's where Kashia Valkyr came from. But Project Nova didn't take off. The invasion started, and Kashia Valkyr got sucked into the whole Edencom anti-trig stuff. But this desire for anti-war clone stuff was always there. In fact, when they increased the taxes for the New Eden tax initiative back in like 2019 or whatever, the stated reason was to recover from Triglavian attacks, but also to develop new personality backup technologies, new cloning technologies. They've always been working on trying to develop new foot soldiers. On top of that, meanwhile, actually before the invasions, before all that, back in like 2016, a new kind of clone was developed. So back in the, like even earlier, there was back when the Caldari and the Galente were doing a joint research group in order to invent cloaking technology in Creelair, there was an attack by the Guristas pirates. And this attack by the Guristas pirates was to steal this cloaking technology. And in the process of doing so, one of the two leaders of the Guristas pirates, Fatal, was killed. He was potted, and it was determined by CCP, it was announced by CCP that he did not have a proper backup clone. He was dead. So it was revealed with Valkyrie that because of this, the Guristas, or at least those Guristas loyal to Fatal, has been working a lot on advanced cloning technology. And as a result, they have invented the Valkyrie technology. Now, the way that Valkyrie works is rather than having an implant that is interfaced into the brain, like as a part of the brain, instead, it's like an implant that sits on top of the brain and then effectively wires its way into the entire nervous system and then puppets the body as if it was its own. So it almost bypasses the normal brain and only is controlled by that implant that contains the personality. This was their way of easily making it so that they could, the personality isn't actually in the body. So when the body dies, all that has to do is be transferred out, and then you're good to go. This also allowed them to actually steal consciousnesses in different ways. So, they advanced the technology for how you can get these scans and how you can interface with different clones. And then, so, let's see. There's a third way, too. Who invented the third way? There's the dust way. Oh, yeah, never mind. The third way is capsuleers. Now, so when Upwell was evaluating for their new clones, they decided to opt for the Valkyrie method, right? Where the consciousness is not actually written into the brain, but rather it overrides the nervous system and takes over the body. And it's designed to be cheap, easy, and effective. But those guys are designed to be like a workforce, not necessarily a fighting force in the same way that the Vanguard are. So, all of this is to bring us to
Zarzak has been waiting. An ancient nexus, long abandoned. Now ruled by the insurgents. The fearless. The deathless. Trust is rare among our kind. Yet here you are, compelled by my invitation. I offer you a haven, a fortress, hidden from the empires. I have given it life. It feeds on me. And in return, it yields knowledge, gifts, power. Prepare your forces for chaos on the front lines. Harness the might of capsuleers with the promise of riches. And together, we will unlock Zarzak's secrets. One by one.
All right, so what we have here is the Deathless, who is this... The Deathless is a mercenary management guy, right? We've always known him as this. In fact, the very first time we ever learned about the Deathless, he was the deal broker for a bunch of mercenaries that were working on, or that were fighting on Chandeli in the Civil War. And he was pulling them out for conflicts of interest or whatever. Either way, so the Deathless has been this agent that has been operating in the background. And of course, I've talked about him quite a bit. I've done conspiracies and tinfoils about him. I have my own theories. But the point of the matter is, whoever this guy is, he's been running around since at least 2018, he discovered the Fulcrum. I think that he discovered the Fulcrum after the events in Turner, because I think that Turner probably, the explosion in Turner exposed Zarzak, since one of the gates was in Turner. From there, he discovered Zarzak, he discovered the fulcrum, and he figured out how to turn it on. And he plugged himself into it. And that is the biggest difference between Vanguard and Templars, right? Because think about it. Like with the Templars, they took the guys out of the construct, ripped their implant out, and used it in a different body in order to get the same effect. In this case, he has the bodies that are built already to function as sleepers, right? There's a built-in virtuality construct, which the infomorphs are able to stay in, and there's these clone banks just like a sleeper enclave, right? Because it wasn't just the sleepers that were into this kind of stuff. This was general Jovian technology as well. So the difference here is that instead of trying to like use sleeper or Jovian technology on non-Jovians, instead they are just taking the infomorphs and they're using it to animate these Jovian bodies directly. They're cutting out the middleman, as it were, and they're rather than trying to create an infrastructure around this, the fulcrum itself is already designed to do this. And so what he's created is a much more probably effective method of clone body, of, you know, sending out clones, as well as, you know, a supply of those clones. And that's why he's using these Jovian bodies, because those are the ones that work in this area, the Jovians that were modified and all that sort of stuff. So that's what's really going on here. So people, we'll learn more when we read the next section. All right. War clone technology. Yeah, actually. So here, now that I've read all of that, now that I've told you all of that, let's read it all again. War clone technology was first conceived under the Amar Empire's Templar program as the basis for a mortal clone soldier army. Early war clones relied on implants salvaged from the cryostatically preserved bodies of the sleepers, a Jovian subculture who had shifted their entire civilization into a utopian virtual reality. The implant's abilities to record and host a compact infomorph, a live consciousness in digital format, enabled the transfer of minds on a purely human scale, without any of the bulky and delicate equipment required by existing methods. Critical instabilities caused by fragmented remains of sleeper infomorphs discovered in these implants saw the Templar program scrapped, but not before the other three empires had already obtained the technology and began building war clones of their own. While the rest grappled with increasingly severe consequences, the Amar devoted their efforts to reverse engineering clean second-gen implants that would be shared freely with the others by Empress Jamil. Ensuing purges led to countless first-gen survivors seeking refuge with the Gerissus, Angels Cartel, Mortis Legion, and Amar, with the Legion's first-gen branching off in the following months to form the Arcombine, a mercenary group united by the goal of righting the wrongs done to them and forging a path of freedom beyond the borders of the empires. They and the Legion maintain a close relationship in the fields of mercenary work and war clone R&D. Behind the scenes, however, the Arcombine institutional disillusionment and deep interest in Sleeper and Jove technology quickly led to discreet association with elements of the Angel Cartel. A subsequent search for hidden Jove ruins brought the Arcombine's head clone physician and infomorph specialist, known to the underworld circles as Life Giver, into contact with affiliates of the mysterious Deathless. After being tapped for collaboration with the Quartermaster, which is bonkers that his name keeps showing. Yeah. A prolific engineer and technology dealer on a secret Gerissus project, read Valkyrie, Life Giver's proven talents and ideological alignment led the Deathless to recruit her into his trusted inner circle alongside the Quartermaster. This group eventually succeeded in reaching the ancient Jove outpost known as the Fulcrum, long abandoned in the shrouded system of Zarzak. The Deathless and his circle would uncover the many treasures within the continental megastructure, with three in particular being more than the Arcombine had ever dreamt they could find. A derelict onboard virtuality, dark and desolate as it was, would serve as a haven for war clones. Archives of the first-gen compatible Jovian clone bodies and an industrial-scale clone fab capacity yielded a platform for a new kind of war clone. So yeah, it's got its own war clone production facility inside of it. And source data for FTL communication implants based on nano-adaptive biotech similar to the Quartermaster would be the key to a new era. With these three elements as a basis, Lifegiver saw a path to harmony for the first generation unfolding at long last. Here in Zarzak, she began a new program aimed at bringing those under her care stability, sanctuary, and the power to realize the dream of independent freedom shared by all members of the burgeoning Deathless Circle. Collaborating with the Quartermaster, work quickly began on what would become the next evolution of war clone technology. So, yeah, Lifegiver, right? So, the Lifegiver, being a big key character that has kind of emerged in all of this, we believe that she is the medic woman in Empyrean Age and Templar 1, as she is given the nickname Lifegiver in Templar 1, and she is the one that was left to work on the war clones afterwards. Yeah, Gable. So, and then the Quartermaster was the main agent in Valkyrie, and he said that he doesn't take, I can't remember exactly what he said, but he basically implies the fact that he is taking orders from somewhere else, right? He does work for a larger network, but he was working, he helped the helped Fatal develop the Vanguard, or not the Vanguard, the Valkyrie fighters, as in the ship part of it. And his big obsession was with the drifters, and in fact, that whole plot with the Quartermaster led him to a drifter hive. So it's interesting to know that the Lifegiver worked with the Quartermaster all back then. But yeah. And then also you can tell, like, this is already a pretty, this is, as I was saying, it's a setup situation with a built-in virtuality and really built to allow this war clone technology kind of deployment. Next. Your journey began with an invitation to Zarzak extended by the Arkhambine, promising stability and opportunity for all war clones in partnership with the Deathless Circle. Whether of your own volition or among those recovered in raids by Sorrow's confinement archives, your imprint, the base personality, skill, and memory data of a war clone infomorph is compiled from, was brought to Zarzak and loaded into the Fulcrum's virtuality construct. Offered a choice to either awaiting a brighter future in tranquil but static residence in this inner world, or voluntarily converting your imprint into a novel format to join the next evolution of war clone technology. You chose the latter. This name, given to this new generation, symbolized its developers' mission of making every war clone spearhead of their own path, burning towards independence. You are a vanguard of no other destiny besides your own. So, this is important because this is one of the critical things about, like, this is one of the themes that they really want to get into Vanguard, because it is about your story, right? So in the end, if you want to work for a different group or whatever, you can do so, but they want to start you out in as neutral of a position as possible. So there are all these war clones. They come through Arkhambine. It may be first gen, maybe later gen, you know, whatever. And ultimately, there's an invitation where it's like, okay, well, these war clones have had a rough time of it for the last 10, 15 years for various reasons. So we're just going to give them a new home, right? We have a new virtual reality construct. We can put them in there. That's their new home. And if they want to fight, then they can. So as a Vanguard person, you are somebody who that has happened to, and then you have chosen to fight. Now, you get to decide why you've chosen to fight, and the Deathless is a mercenary first and foremost, so I'm sure you'll have all different kinds of opportunities. And as CSP Demiurge was talking about today, this is just the entrance of this technology, and eventually other groups are going to develop this, to their own solutions to technology and probably get in on the game. But for now, the Vanguard are the Deathless, or the Deathless's circle, or part of the, getting sheltered, being sheltered by the Deathless circle. We'll say that. This reference to the Sorrow confinement. Where is it? I think. Well, hold on. Is there anything? No. Is this it? No. Ah, here it is. The Bowhead Ambush scope video. In the Bowhead Ambush scope video, it says, no? There is a... Man. Okay, maybe it's not this one. There is a news article around this time that does talk about how Arkhambine, one of the very first things that Arkhambine does is raid the Sorrow detention center for war clones, and basically downloaded all of the stuff. Nah. Oh well. Should have looked it up ahead of time. Actually, hold on. Let's look up confinement archives. That sounds a lot rarer of a concept. Oh, it is. Wait, hold on. Oh, it is right there. Rumored network intrusion at DED Molden Heath headquarters purportedly targeted Sorrow confinement archives. There we go. Wait. Yeah. That's it. Okay. Well, that was a little journey. All right. The seeds of the Vanguard were sown years prior to the Deathless's arrival in Zarzak. The first was Lifegiver's identification of overlapping non-mutual memory recall as the primary trigger for the first-gen's enigmatic psychosis. Second was the realization that first-gen infomorphs could be kept stable when residing in a virtuality. Last of all came a discovery that first-gen sleepers element conferred seamless compatibility with Jove biology and neural interface biotech. Aboard the Fulcrum, these would culminate in the Vanguard's imprint format. For first-gen war clones, conversion to Vanguard entails compositing one's soldier and sleeper elements into a fully unified imprint, with any non-mutual episodic and emotional memory suppressed, filtered, and gradually recompiled into a singular partition, producing a new identity that is more than the sum of its parts. Second-gen conversions involve the careful pairing with curated data from sleeper elements of another to produce the same compatibility with Jove biology while avoiding the first-gen's corruption and keeping memories far more intact. So the fact that the first-gen war clones were infected by sleeper stuff allowed them to be more compatible with this technology. So they actually have to inject synthetic sleeper elements into subsequent war clones to make them compatible with the Fulcrum. That's crazy. While residing in the Fulcrum virtuality, your experience as an infomorph is shaped through the front-end interface strapped onto underlying Jovian systems. Through this, you choose among your other interactions to link with available Vanguard blanks in the world of reality. On deployment, an FTL link is established between the fulcrum and an awaiting blank into which your infomorph is shifted in a manner resembling a long-distance version of the Sleeper's Enclave coupling. This is achieved through the Quartermaster's main contribution to Vanguard's design so far, a direct integration of Jovian FTL biotech into Sleeper implant architecture with sufficient bandwidth to keep infomorph synced and its imprint in the fulcrum virtual reality. Of added benefit is the ability to hot load data such as interface protocols, programs, or schematics. Between acquiring source data for the tech that inspired his past innovations in a field of clone mapping and neural interfacing, and requesting recovery of more new tech based on R&D pilfered from his facilities, one can only wonder at what projects the Quartermaster is pursuing in the depths of the fulcrum. So, yeah, they actually are. It is close. It's actually a hybrid of the Valkyrie technique and the Templar technique, because the consciousness stays in the virtuality. It just pilots the body remotely, as it were, through FTL. Contracts offered in deployment are distributed through the private service of an FTL job brokerage framework controlled by a group in partnership with, but separate from, the Deathless Circle. Could it be Entire Direct Action? Or perhaps Ostracron Agency? It is believed that the contracts from a third party operating as Handler Morituri, aimed at suppressing insurgencies and acquiring data on the Vanguard, appear due to fraternization of whatever identity lies behind the alias with this external group. The Deathless' seeming acceptance of these circumstances has led many to believe that the Circle's true goal lies somewhere far beyond the front lines of their associates' insurgencies. Yeah, it seems like the Deathless doesn't really care if other people are using his network in order to do things that are ostensibly against his network. I mean, he's a mercenary, you know, so there are people putting up contracts that are against the insurgencies, and yet the Vanguard are honoring them. So Sorrow got hacked and someone downloaded the infomorphs. This is kind of amusing. Yeah. Took it out with a thumb drive. And then, yeah, that's it for the actual lore stuff. But they also did show off some of the UI elements that they've been working on. This looks really cool. Although I've seen some good like updates to the mock-up being made by people. Also, why is the Paragon logo there? I'm not crazy, right? Hold on. Really? That's Paragon's logo. Pretty sure of it. And then here's like of a lava planet. And then here's the galaxy map. So it looks pretty cool. And that's what we know so far. I was really hoping that they would leave an avenue open for Capsuleers to be able to be like, okay, well, they can also puppet Vanguard soldiers. Like, we could... but it does seem like while the Deathless is content to have the Angels and the Guristas use Capsuleers to reach their own ends, I don't think... I think it's pretty firmly clear now that the invitation was not for Capsuleers. They were for the pirate groups themselves and for the war clones, which is a separate population of people. But one of the things, like, they were pretty reluctant to talk too much about where they might want to go from here, but it does sound like this is, like, while the Empires don't have a strict good answer for this yet, you know, obviously Upwell has been working on their own stuff, but the Fulcrum remains a pretty isolated space. And so I assume that until the Vanguard start being deployed on a regular basis, we won't see that technology being stolen and adapted right away. So yeah, that I think is all of the Vanguard lore news that we know now about, you know, where things are going. So I hope that was good. I hope that was nice for everybody. In case you're watching this as an edited video later on, not sure if we'll edit this out, but if you are, thanks for watching the whole thing. If you're still live, hang out, but otherwise, thank you for coming. I've been Ashtarothi. I've been playing this game since 2010, talking about it since 2012, and I'm here to put even to context for you, my fellow Empyreans. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for liking, commenting, and subscribing. And until next time, I've been Ashtarothi, the voice of New Eden, and I'll see you in space. Stay. Okay. Now then, patch notes, SKINR update. Hey, Tranquilla, thanks for that. On behalf of Firewolf, Zechariah, Pig, James, Nigel, Wildcard, Diva, Skylab, Brampke, Diesel Cora, Strawberry Parfait, and myself, thank you so much for that support. It means a lot. I've got, by the way, my birthday is in 2 days, but I have no idea whether or not I'm going to get to be able to stream or do anything for it. So I don't know. I would like to, but every time I try to like set that up, it ends up falling apart and then I end up being sad. So we'll see. Okay. SKINR Enhanced. So if you're just joining us, if you haven't been paying attention, SKINR is the new ship customization tool, right? They've now allowed us to they've given us some pretty flexible tools when it comes to how to customize our ships and the ability to produce our own skins. Now, that rollout as part of the Equinox update was, I'm just going to politely say, incomplete. There were several features on it that didn't exist yet. The two most glaring ones was they released it without a market, but they also made it so that the market is the only way to transfer skins between each other. And so you can't just like make a skin and then give it to your buddy. You must use the market system, which then was very clunky and also had a 30% tax, which has been now reduced to at least to like 15 to 20% tax, depending on your skills. But still, you know, whatever, that was a problem originally. And then the bigger problem, in my opinion, was the fact that you couldn't, in order to preview an element, in order to know what an element looked like, you had to either already own it or had to be on the Paragon hub. That meant that any like rare skin pieces that drop somewhere, you wouldn't even know what it looked like until you applied it to your account, and then you couldn't sell it anymore, and you could see what it looks like on ships and in designs. But worse was that CCP started selling packs for money that involved SKINR components that had no way of knowing what those SKINR components looked like. Now, they did later on go back and like add pictures to many of them to let it know, but those pictures sucked and were really bad at like portray, and they were basically asking people to buy SKINR components sight unseen. And I know a couple of people that did and was disappointed in at least some of the results that they got. So the biggest problem that made the SKINR system kind of not work for me was the fact that you couldn't preview things that you didn't own, right? Which meant that you couldn't see what something would look like before you bought it. And that is a major problem. So let's look into this. The ongoing effort to create new career and specialization opportunities for budding skin industrialists continued today with New Eden Equinox update. Several alterations were made in the last update on 25th of July, including modifications to the cost and time requirements associated with SKINR, and a new skill that reduces Paragon Hub vendor fees. Today's update continues that trajectory, adding the ability to try out any design element in your creations and apply all nano coatings to any slot, as well as several quality of life improvements. Furthermore, for the next 12 days, you can claim daily SKINR-themed rewards. At the same time, work continues on other important updates to Equinox, such as Skyhook rating and more. So, yeah, a happy little accident. The DLI has been extended until 27th of August, and the total available skill points will be 425,000 for Omegas. So, yeah, this has been a daily login campaign. If this is the first you've heard about it, you can log in every single... if you log in every single day remaining, you will still get the full skill points. So you've got 7 days left as of this recording, and it started 5 days ago. So there you go. Oh. There. This is what I meant to show you guys. I absolutely despise which term? Which term do you despise? I've said several terms. All right. Enhance creative opportunities. Skindustrialist? Oh, okay. Right, because you're not a skindustrialist. You're a skin artist. Okay, whatever. Today's update introduces the ability to try out design elements while crafting skins, whether you own them or not, enabling you to freely experiment with various elements to realize your creative vision, and then acquire them when you're ready to sequence your designs. In addition, all nano coatings can now be applied to any slot, opening more possibilities than ever before. Several quality of life improvements have also been added, including sorting nano coatings by hue in the studio, streamlining this design process, and speeding up the workflow. The interface now also links directly to the market or Paragon Hub if you need to quickly acquire the elements you're missing out on a masterpiece. In addition, for the next 12 days, you can claim daily SKINR-themed rewards, so be sure to log in every day to add to the collection of design elements and other components necessary to realize your artistic vision. Don't miss the Sunny Nano Coating Sequencers boosters and up to 425,000 skill points, perfect for the training of recently added skills to further your design career. Another update is coming very soon that introduces the ability to share your saved skin masterpieces through chat. Whether you want to create an awesome design to fly with your friends, get specialized industrialists, there it is again, to sequence your creations, or just contribute to a vibrant skin ecosystem. So at least you'll be able to share like the DNA of a skin, so that way they can print out their own. But it's still, they don't have the design, they'll have to have the design elements. Whatever. I just want to be able to sequence a skin and give it to my friend. That's all I want. Let your imaginations run wild. The ability to design skins using an element regardless of your ownership allows any capsulator to freely explore the creative limits of skin design, contribute to the colorful tapestry of New Eden, and share your creative visions with the universe. Okay, so let's go check it out. I found a SKINR that was worth 1.4 billion, so I activated it at once. You mean a skin? Like an old school skin? Okay, yeah. Okay, so let's look at the SKINR system, guys. You can see I already have several things already sequenced. We have the Paragon Hub, where you can look at other skins and look at prices. So, you know, if you're in a ship, it'll help you look up ships for that, or sorry, skins for that ship. And you can check them out. That's actually pretty good. That's a good one. I like that one. And then, of course, there's the all skins section, which is kind of a random set. And then also in the Paragon Hub, we can look at the design elements. We've looked at this before. This is all kind of the same. So, is that your work? Wait. This one's yours? That's really good. I really like it. I'm curious, and maybe we'll look into it. I'm curious as to how you got the red stripe and the yellow blotchiness here. Like the red. It looks like you've got two different effects on it. That's interesting. Well, maybe we'll figure it out. Oh, you have two. Wait. Very carefully. Yeah, I mean, because you can only put one effect on it. How the hell did you do that? You can, okay, so you can have the pattern not applied to different areas to make it so that the pattern, like there's good parts, but I understand that you can mirror the effect, but can you mirror the effect with two different colors? Like you have two different, that's the part that gets me. Hold on. I just gotta know, man. How much Plex do I have? I don't have enough. Because, like, there's red lines. Oh! I see what's happening. I see what's happening. I think. Your base color's yellow. Is that right? Have I caught on? That's really cool. Wait. Yeah. Wait. Okay. Took me a while. Yeah, whatever, man. It was good. It's a good one. Okay. So. Well, yeah. I mean, it'll look yellow to me. Where? Oh, yeah. So you've got 4 different color slots, and then you've got the pattern slot. So you can, like, look at your Zenitra skin. Can I do that? Can I look you up by... There's literally only 3 Anathema skins out there? That's interesting. Not yours. Not yours. Which one's yours? Purple, black with gold. What's the name of it? Plex at 450? Are you sure it didn't get bought? Oh, wait. Ah! Found it. Oh, yeah. That looks sick. This has just become an advertisement for Arrakis's skins. So here's my question for you, Arrakis, because this is something I've been interested in. How are you seeing these sell? Because the guy who I know who's been doing a lot of SKINR stuff says that, like, yeah, like they are selling, but it's really hard to sell them for Plex. People are a lot more interested in selling things for ISK. Also, whoever set up this sale is nonsense. Somebody messed up with this one. Kalul, you messed up. He put it up for 1.15 billion Plex. Not ISK. Plex. Which you might think, oh yeah, that's actually really funny. Somebody might think it's ISK and buy it. But who has 1.5 billion Plex? Yeah, imagine the Plex listing cost. You don't sell a lot? That's too bad. Do you have any others to look at? You do good work. Fair enough. All right. So let's start a new design. Now, one of the things that I think, unfortunately, like this change that shows off the other, you having all this change that allows you to work with elements that you don't already have has an unfortunate side effect, which is the fact that we realize how few elements that they really are, right? There's 19 different patterns total. I mean, see, 19 different patterns total. I don't know. Like, I'm kind of disappointed by that. I'll say that. But either way, they are coming out with more. So the way it works, actually, let's go ahead and get a different ship. I want to do a Drake, just because it's really easy to show. Okay, so here is the Drake, and here is this pattern. You can see the colors. There's plenty of colors. There's lots of different colors. There's matte, satin, gloss. You know, so let's go with yellow just for now. Now then, you can move the pattern around like this, or you can turn on the camera mode and then just rotate the camera around to set it up. Or you can do a combination of the two, where you like get it close, and then you turn off camera, and then you adjust it ever so slightly. Whatever. Or one of the things you can do is mirror it. Now, that actually straightened it out a little bit, but if you mirror it, now if we turn it, it has a much different effect. So this is actually, the mirroring is actually a good way to get some very interesting effects out of these patterns. And especially since you can then change the angle that it's being projected onto in order to create some pretty cool effects, right? Like that. Right? The person I know with the most Plex is just like under 900,000. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a bad scam because no one's ever going to get scammed out of it because nobody has that much Plex. You have to actually color against the pattern in order for it to utilize new patterns. You mean the oh, right. Okay, yeah. The base pattern. Yeah. So what he's saying there is if you change the color, it actually keeps the digital camo, right? So in order to fix that, you would actually have to can you fix that? Hold on. Yeah. You'd have to then go and add a second skin for the like this or second color for the second half of the, or you know, for the other half of the digicam. It does mean that you can make your own really wild digicam though. So, I mean, there are pros and cons to it for sure. Why am I making the ugliest fucking skin on the face of the world? Hold on. Whatever. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. All right, so yeah, I think it's annoying, but I think it's better than it completely ignoring the pattern. Oh. Like, so if we go with, oh, let's just click on Mimito. Yeah, just trying to find skinspiration. Oh, I see what you're saying. So, like, the problem is that the rustiness of... So if we look at the base color, it's not uniformly flatly colored. It's got yellows and browns and grays in it. And so then when you apply a color to it, it keeps those changes in tones. So it looks mottled a little bit, as in like spotty. Unless you go with something so dark that it doesn't show through. Oh, that's a great example. Because you can see all of the gray in there. If we go to an Amar ship, because Amar ships have nice flat colors, they have nice flat colors. Capsuleers just seem to love annoying pink, and I'm not sure why. It's really easy. Like, pink became... Pink, okay. Pink was EVE Online's circa 2010s, what cat ears are today. Where it was a thing that, like, a fringe group of people wanted, but CCP and a lot of the population were staunchly, firmly against. And so because they were so against it, the resistance for it gained momentum, gained energy. Especially since, like, there was a bit of a, like, the pink thing, the problem with the pink thing is that, in my opinion, it makes the discussion about pink ships mixed in with sexism with EVE Online in the earlier days in a way that wasn't great, and we've luckily gotten past, right? Because, to be honest, a lot of people that wanted the pink designs were female players, and a lot of them, the idea that grimdark has no place for pink was interpreted in a lot of ways of being like, EVE Online has no place for a feminine, appearance or something. Like it became a symbol of that. And so, as every single time a skin came out that kind of hinted in that direction, like when they came out with the more lavender skin back in the day, I can't remember its actual name. Rosetta Dawn, I think it is that one. The earlier pink purple ones, like, were really, really well, like, very popular because those people had been told that they can't have it for so long. Does that make sense? Like, in the same sort of way. And then eventually, so EVE Online has a lot of, like, killer mentality people as far as, like, the Bartle taxonomy goes. In other words, people that want to have an impact on other people, for better or for worse. And so the more people lost their shit about pink stuff, the more people wanted to put on pink ships because they knew it riled these people up, right? All these people that are, like, against pink ships. Oh my God, I can't believe they allowed pink ships. Like, great. I get to just, I can piss them off just by having a pink ship. And so, of course, that only makes it more popular. That's what happened. So in the same way, yeah, like cat ears. If they introduce cat ears, I guarantee you that there will be people that wear cat ears, had no interest in cat ears, but are doing so to troll the people that are against it, to get under the skin of those who are willing to get their skin riled up because of cat ears, right? That's what it's all about. So, This one's goofy, right? Like this one's the is this everyone's favorite or least favorite? That's what I want to know. Scale it down a little bit and offset it and rotate it. Like, yeah, their eyes. It's goofy, right? Oh, there you go. Here's looking at you, kid. That's goofy. They did introduce some new skins as part or new elements as part of the different Empire Day event, celebrations. Yeah, it's really sad that they can't have more than one pattern, but yeah. So from here, I can. Why is it always pink? And then we can. Is it mirrored? Yeah. So we can. That's kind of cool. You can make some pretty good effects like that. And then, but I can also. Oh, man. Come on. Ah. Is there a way to, like, make a micro change? I don't even remember. Camera? Offset? That's kind of cool. So then we can change these base colors. And then we can make it so that the pattern, this pattern doesn't show up on some of the parts. That has some cool effects. Yeah, you definitely want that. I don't know, does that look cool? And so yeah, by breaking things up, you can really make some interesting designs. That's true. It is oh, on that chip just came ooh. But yeah. That's actually kind of cool too. You can just kind of make all kinds of little interesting broken up effects, and then you can do like metallic gold. Oh! 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 Yeah. SKINR was added. Are patterns and colors earned from in-game activities or just events? Mostly in-game activities. Well, no, sorry. Correction. The tools required to build them, right? The doodads that are required to put together a skin are gotten from combat or... Yeah, this looks cool. I might play around with it some more, but I don't know what to call it, though. I'll just call it Zombie for now. Whatever. Whole section. Aileron Mark 5? Happy little accidents, that's right. Okay. I do like the black and gold trim look in general. That just kind of looks like a mishmash. Okay, what can I say? I'm a simple man. I like, oh, that's in, wait, this is in Taki Emerald? Okay, well, I like precursor plate and red. It's a very simple pattern. I've liked it before. Hold on. Oops. I mean, look at this ship. So this ship is 90 plex. Haters gonna hate. Oh, is that Nicholas? Like the Kybernaut Nicholas? Actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and finalize this design. Let's stock up.
Warp drive active.
Oh, okay.
Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted.
The Stratios. The Stratios could have some good skins. What up, sheesh? All right. I open back up the SKINR system. And then I open... Should I do this one? Should I do my Kiki? Or should I do the Iki Tursa? Well, I can almost afford the Kiki. So let's do the Kiki one. How much Plex do I have? 70. All right. So now I've got 75 Plex. Hey, Arrakis07, thanks for introducing us to your skins. That was very cool to stumble upon them. How much was that Kiki? This Kiki skin is 75 Plex. Although I did buy Entropic Alloy, so plus the cost of Entropic Alloy. But if we finalize the design, we can see here that I need a total of 1,800 fermionic sequencers, 150 Kerr sequencers, and 400 alignment sequencers, based on the different things that I chose to build things with, right? And then on top of that, I still also need the 75 Plex, and it'll take 1 day, 14 hours, 39 minutes. And then I hit create skin. And it just starts this process. Now I could end it early for 50 Plex, or I can just wait 1 day and 14 hours. And to be honest with you, I'm actually pretty satisfied with some of the skins that I've gotten out of this so far. I've showed these off before, but here is my, what is this, Squall? Make sure to clean off your ship if you want to show off your skin effectively. I know people didn't clean their ship and then was like, why does my skin suck? You have a Dominic skin on there named Greetus. I can... What? Think you can move chat window? Yeah. What's up? I'm not sure what you're trying to see. Did I accidentally move off of it? If you want to see something, let me know. The payment thing? Anyway, the other... Oh, tell you what. That black. Today, you guys go down there. Maybe that'll help. We'll find out. But then also I have my... I don't know. I think this is clever. You guys can tell me if you think it's clever. But, you know, the torrent. I named my torrent LimeWire. And its skin looks like a lime with a silver wire down the middle. And so you can see here, I actually played around with the fact that the pattern, which is the fade, isn't covering some of the details, right? Like if we open up this skin as a design, we see that it's only showing on the secondary area. And that's the effect of it by itself. Although I think it probably lost a bit of the script. Now, this is actually an interesting hint that people have been talking about. Here's one for you. Let's say I want to make this ship black. Okay? In order to make this ship black, I'd have to go here and be like, that's not black. Deep void. Whatever, fine. So we have to do deep void here, and here, and here, and here, in order to make it solid black, okay? And even then, it still doesn't show up, you know, do some of the details, but yeah, you've got solid black right now. But the problem here is that this is 6 different elements. So if I finalize my design, you'll see it costs 3,000 sequencers and 60 plex. Now, if I go back, I can actually get rid of all of these. How do I remove one? X? Nope. How do I remove it? Hold on. What? Really? Can you not? Weird. Try again. Okay. So instead, what you can do is actually take this fade, deselect. Oh, yeah, you can click it again to deselect it. Got it. Right. Yep. So what you can do is you can get this fade, right? And you can scale it way up, or sorry, way down, rather. And then set it to black. And then offset it. To the front. And look, now it's solid black. Now you can also, sorry. Now it's solid black. I went with a slightly different black. Now it's solid black. The same way. with only one element being used. So this costs 35 plex. No, we're not able to change lighting effects yet. And only 750 Kerr sequencers. So less than a third of the, well, about a third of the sequencers, because you now have alignment sequencers, and almost half of the plex to make this skin exactly the same as the other skin. However, it's not actually exactly the same. Full disclosure. So to show that, I need to show you this skin. So we saw that this skin is actually a green skin with a yellow fade upon it, right? Well, if I go into my settings and I change my settings to optimize for performance, we're now in potato mode. And as you can see, the fade completely goes away. So remember that if you make a plain ship and then just apply a fade to it, that will be completely invisible if they have their ship or have their if you have your client in potato mode, right? So if I did that same one with that previous one, it would just look like an unskinned ship right now because the fade is completely removed. Just a little bit of PSA with that. Now, there is this check mark in space skinning effect. That this check mark maybe does it? Hold on, let's find out. Nope. It doesn't. It would be the same. Yeah, skinning effect is the transition effect, right? So if I have that unchecked, and I change my skin. Ah, it just flips off. Aha, that's what it is. Okay.
Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted.
Well, I don't know. Tell me what you guys think about the SKINR system now. I think it's actually getting to be pretty usable. UG to skin scan. Think you're buying a 70 off Plex all black skin to a 35 Plex shade? That's actually an interesting... That's an interesting point. You could actually sell things to people. Because, like, let's go look. Let's go look. Wait. Hold on. Arrakis left already. Let's go look at Arrakis' skins in potato mode to see what happens. Shh. Don't tell him. Hold on. What happens to this? That just becomes dark. That's in an anathema, right? Yeah. There it is. Well, that could have given me a hint as to how he designed it, huh? So there you go. And if we go here and we optimize for quality, but it won't make good money until it's like Forza or Armored Core 6 decal system. I think it's good for you to make your own skins right now. I think the selling of it is still a little wonky, but like if you have a ship and you're sitting in it, just building a cool little skin for you. I think that's it's really good for that, in my opinion. So yeah, that's all I had for you guys today, for the most part, unless somebody has something else that I haven't thought about. I do want to say, last weekend I went to go do a fleet fight with 745 MPSI, the Bombers Bar guys. They were fantastic, and I appreciate all of them. They're my big shout out for today. They have been, 745 MPSI has been a long-term supporter of the show. And they put on this big brawl where basically everybody came to their wormhole and they handed out ships to everybody. They split everybody into teams. I was on the Galente team, and I flew an Executor, and we won. So, Galente Logistics wins again. We actually didn't lose a single logistics ship. It was really fun. Would do it again. And I do recommend checking out Bombers Bar for all kinds of cool, just on-the-go content. Yeah, for self-use, it is really good. But let's see. This weekend is the beginning of the feeders or AT. So get excited for new tournament play. Yeah. Anything else I should talk about before we go? My son gets home in like 20 minutes or so, or like half an hour or so, I think. So probably should be wrapping it up sooner rather than later. One of the things... Oh. I really want to do a Yeet exploration video soon, so that way we can go into nullsec and start checking out how things are in nullsec, see if we can find any skyhooks or inner hub, whatever, infrastructure hubs that have cool components to it or whatever. Greedus? Oh. What type of ship is it again? Dominic's. Greedus. That is a lot of plex. That is a spendy skin. Don't worry, guys. It's only 4.5 months of game time. You just want the I know what you're doing, though. I know what you're doing, Peck. What you're doing is you're trying to get that, like, Rolls Royce money, right? This is like, you have this because that way, like, oh, man, this is expensive. I don't know if that works with custom skins, but we'll see. Best of luck to you. Yeah, it's expensive because it's a premium. When you wear it, it shows off how rich you are. Is that the goal? I love that pattern in the front, though. The use of that stripes. All of it, Gina. You might want to go back to the beginning. We're actually kind of wrapping things up soon. But yeah, that price tag, though. Yeah. Well, cool. I mean, it's starting to come together. The SKINR system is starting to come together, and it only will get better, hopefully. So, yeah, and with the Vanguard lore, we went over that stuff. That's all very interesting. Can't think of anything else that's really big going on right now that I need to talk about. Oh yeah, there's a new Project Discovery. I I need to know what you guys think about the new Project Discovery. I am kind of disappointed by it. Maybe we should go into it more detail. But Dutch Gunner, I already said that. AT feeders are this weekend. Yes, AT feeders are this weekend. You should definitely check out Twitch. It's going to be on the CCP stream, right? All weekend there's going to be some pretty good Alliance tournament fighting going on, and we're rooting for Dutch Gunner, who is flying with Brave Newbies. Oh, and yes, it is a great opportunity. You go to CCP stream. No problem, Dutch. It's fine. You go watch CCP, but this feels more like we're just expanding the data set of the old project. Right? Am I wrong about that? Has anybody been doing this more than me? Where is it? Because like this is more or less just the same. And what I find bizarre is while they added new SKINR components, they also kept the old skins. I do find it weird that they put these lines on here. I don't know what the lines are supposed to represent. It's exact same with scribbles on the side. It's so weird. And they added new SKINR components to it, but they didn't get rid of the old skins. Probably because they didn't want us to get mad about that, but they got rid of the, like, in the previous project discoveries, the new project meant new skins. I'm doing it wrong? I'm sure I am. What am I supposed to do? What are you talking about? This is a cluster right here, right? This is the cluster? How am I doing it wrong? Somebody teach me how to... I never got good at this project discovery. I'm the worst at this one. No, this one's 2 clusters. So I put one here. I put one here. Right? What am I doing wrong? Just make a box up. Well, okay. Oh. Okay, fair. I'm being too exact. So they want this? They want this? Is that what you want? No, no, of course not. Why would you want that? Whatever. Ah. See a pattern and get used to making making a box. Fair enough. Fair enough. You're doing it wrong because you're actually solving the puzzle and trying to save humanity while we obviously deserve to go extinct. Well... Anywho. Yeah. I think that's about it. Let's go ahead and wrap this up. It's supposed to help you find the clusters? What? They didn't reset the reward track? Man, the more I learn about this, the more I'm like, what is even happening? How does these line... What is the line supposed to do? You already got the Marshall? New creator codes? What is a creator code? So, if you're talking about the free million skill points, if you use this link that's in chat or down below, you'll be sent to one of my staff members' page so you can support those who support the show and the in-game. Which, of course, if you want to join the Convocation of Empyreans or the Invited and help help people maximize player engagement with EVE Online, we are recruiting. We are. I would love to have more of you to come fly fleets with. Creator codes are to get paid from people buying from the EVE website. No. Well, if you use my buddy code and then you buy like Plex or something like that, there's benefits to that. But no, I don't have anything like that. Unless you're talking about like an Amazon code. I don't have anything for Eve. There are new ones now? I'll have to look into it. But yeah, make sure to log in for your daily login campaign. Check out SKINR. And I have been Ashrothi. I've been playing this game since 2010, talking about it since 2012, and I'm here to put Eve into context for you, my fellow Empyreans. Thank you guys so much for coming, checking out the stream, hanging out with me, liking it, commenting, having chats, checking out the stuff, and supporting. And of course, thank you to Tranquilla Mare and Sheesh for your 20 total gifted subs. Very, very awesome. Thank you very much. Nest Store free Plex. That's right. Go to the Nest Store and make sure to get your free 1,500 skill points for the week. Very important. You got to recur. Oh, that's cool. I'll have to look into that. All right. But I've been Ashrothi, the voice of New Eden. And until next time, I'll see you in space. Like the streams for the guineas!
Bring on the wrecking machine. For every city